What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In this video, I've got a ton of things to update you on, so let's just get into it because this one's going to be quite the banger. As a reminder, though, before we get into it, we do have a private group. The membership price is going up to $60 in May. Until the end of April, you can lock it in at $20 a month on Patreon. We will be canceling YouTube. I've had a few people join on YouTube in the last couple of days. Please don't do that. We're going to have to cancel that at the end of the month. But if you're looking to join a group that can actually simplify your process, actually get you the airdrops you want, help you learn what you're doing so you're self-sufficient, and open your eyes to the other opportunities, all while giving you back that time that you want, check out the Web3 Secret Society. Links to that are in the description below. Now, last week, all of these influencers, let's say, fair weather influencers, were telling you, oh my God, it's time to get out of the market. Bitcoin's going to $30,000, $40,000. They don't know anything because literally we cannot tell you with certainty which way the market's going to go in the short term. Anyone who says that is lying. They can give a prediction, but the reality is, there are so many different events that can happen. Now, the reality for you guys is if we're here for the long term, if we're here, when I say long term, I mean for the cycle, we are bullish, super bullish. We went through the halving, we came out and it's been super hot since. And we've actually seen memes starting to pump way ahead of everything else. Pepe is up 42% this week. I took a big position on Pepe and a bunch of other meme coins on this drop because these were the ones that were actually going to rally first. It sounds so weird to say that, but this cycle people have been going into memes earlier, and it's always the memes that are at the top of the food chain. So I went into Pepe, Dog with Hat, Dogecoin, which really hasn't taken off yet, so wake up, and then Brett and a few others. But what we're here to talk about today is a few updates on runes, and then it'll be the last time I talk about runes unless there's something specific. So one thing I want you guys to know is, we've talked about the rune stone in the past. Well, they did their first airdrop in the dog token, and just as suspected, and what we talked about in the private Discord, the snapshot got taken, and so did runestone's price. You see exactly what happened at the time of the announcement. Dropped all the way down from 0.739 to 0.07 to 0.03 because it's just what people were somewhat wanting to dump because they expected that now that the dog airdrop has taken place, this is where we expected the most value to come from. Well, somebody did a good analysis on this, but I think they embellished sort of the earnings here. We really don't know what the dog token will be worth, but there is something that you guys should have learned, and this is whether you're in airdrops or in this case this is an airdrop, but if you remember Polyhedra when they had the legendary panda, when you think about the speculation around the omnibus, when you think about all of the other NFTs people have been holding pre-snapshot, they go up so much, and then on the snapshot date they dump completely. So this is why I avoid one-dimensional NFTs if possible. This is not one of those, but we take those lessons into this because for me, I had bought the Rune Doors NFT. They were also doing a snapshot. Once again, we talked about it in the Discord. The price pumped. I dumped it without getting the airdrop for it. And once again, just as expected, it dropped from, I bought it at 0.019 BTC, sold it for like 0.026. And then it went up to like 0.02728. And then literally dumped all the way down, and now it's sitting at 0.0064 because that's what's a lot of pressure on the airdrop to sort of make up for it. So you want to get NFTs when you're holding them that have more than one use case. That's sort of my kind of thing. Now, if you do have the dog token and you do want to sell some of it early, you can go to a market like Whales Pro. I don't know why I said Walls. This also works for points. So if you ever have like points like Eigenlayer, Renzo, which we're going to talk about in a second, Magic Eden, Blast, whatever, you can sell these points ahead of time. You just need the liquidity. Not a bad service. They do take a fee. Be very careful when you buy and sell because you may end up doing the buy side versus the sell side, and there is a ton of volume. So we see this here for the dog token, and here we see some orders that have been filled very recently. So somebody paid $400 for 110 10,000 dog tokens, for example. So it is definitely something to keep in mind. It's one of the options that's out there for you. Now, if you are interested in purchasing and you don't want to go through Whales Pro so forget selling, but let's say you want to buy, then you can go to Unisat. And in the Unisat marketplace, I've done a video on this in the past. You go to marketplace, you can go to ordinals, atomicals, or runes. Runes are somewhat of the hot new item. The most popular one went kind of out of the gates was Satoshi Nakamoto. This thing has dropped significantly. When I was selling the ones I minted, so on the private Discord, the night of, I had minted a couple of these. So I did it on a couple wallets, but basically I ended up with about 1,000 sats. 1,000 like 10 mints basically, and I sold most of them at 11,100 or 11,600 sats. These are now dropped about 60% because once again these things get very hot and they sell off. So this is a lot of what's going on with runes. Some things will get pumped. They're very highly speculative. They're considered meme coins on chain. If you are using Unisat, I do want to bring this to your attention. While they may say that they have fixed an issue around sort of how the swaps work, where they were accidentally burning people's tokens on top of just selling them or whatever, I've heard some kind of rumor mill that things are still bad. Like people, if you have the wrong contract, they're able to take all of your runes. So if you're going to sell a bunch of runes, my advice to you is put that on a different wallet so it doesn't just drain the entire amount because of their updated protocol. Remember, there are tons of flaws in these mechanisms. These guys are early days doing this, and who's really gonna reimburse you, right? So you really want to be careful. Now, I linked you guys to a post from Leonidas, who is the creator of the runestone, which was that airdrop that's been worth a couple $1,000. Well, he's got his own opinion on runes and how they're going to play out. Basically, TLDR, I'll let you read this later, but it's basically the same thing as ordinals, where it starts off very hot. People are like hyping it up. It cools down, and then people sort of pick it up when the price is low, and then, the price jumps suddenly over a period of time. That's how people made a lot of money in ordinals, and he's saying the same thing. But while people's attention is all the way over on Bitcoin, and they're sitting there trying to make the most out of their Bitcoin positions, you have opportunities here on Ethereum. How often do you see Gwei under 10? Let's just be honest. That has been very common since the halving, and because so many people are over there. The first night after the halving, I remember Bitcoin transaction fees were like $2,000 when I wanted to do some mints. It got to a point where I just couldn't do them. So it's pretty crazy here. Now that we're back here, the first thing I want to call out is Banter Bubbles. I told you guys about this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I brought it up in pretty much every video telling you to have this open, sign in with your wallet, connect it, and you'll get a decent airdrop. I have two comments here, really. One, congratulations to those who did it. Some of you may be watching Crypto Banter's channel, where they did give some more information, like, you could deposit on one of their exchange wallets, like Biofin or whatever. And basically, you would have got some extra gummy. But I know a lot of people who actually created multiple tabs, gamed this, and got a bunch of gummy as well. So I had two sort of allocations for this. Not that big by any means, but still, it's free money. And this brings me to my second comment. The one thing I do want to say, and I was so angry. So while I got this, I started seeing people who shill everything. People who shill nonstop. They always post things that don't end up working out. They post things for referral links. They knew about this, but they didn't want people knowing about it. That was probably, I was very it was very frustrating, because what I don't understand, I don't understand why these people are so fake in this space, who are well, if something's definitive and people don't know about it, and it would take away from me because by giving away part of my airdrop or something, I'm I just don't get why all these people who shill and copy and paste and just do all these things are not willing to share this stuff. Because had I not watched Crypto Banter's sort of video when Crash came on, I did not see any of the Twitter influencers who always post a bunch of trash. None of them posted this, but they're happy to post those hashtag SocialFi, tell you to engage with them. They never repost your thing. You guys know who they are. You don't need me to tell you who they are. Literally, you'll know. Ask yourself, when you see these people congratulating themselves and talking about how they got these drops, ask, did they share this with you? because that's the thing. I always made it a point to do that. So if you guys haven't, so this is one of them. You can go into the Soulstorm website and go ahead and claim it. I still think it's up. 100% unlock, which is amazing. And actually, the price is not doing too bad, right? So at 16 cents right now, it's like about like $84 or whatever, or maybe $90 or $100, right? Like, free money is free money. And like, this was the freest money you could get. Part of this is because what Ran and the team have done is they've created a staking program, and they're doing more with the token than they initially thought they would do. I will be honest here. I did get some extra tokens at 1.5 cents. I sold it at like 11 cents, like an idiot. It went up all the way to like 20 something. I mean, like you can never time these things, right? But I'm always happy to make a profit, and sort of, I hope you guys did too. Now, one of the other things I want to highlight was this is a meme token that I talked about on the channel before. It's one of a few. All of them have gone up. This one has gone up over 100% since I told you guys about it. I can't take credit for this call. This is not my call, and that's the thing. You'll never hear me take credit for something that I got from somebody else. This is from Crash, and I've talked about him in the past. This is, like I said, I can't tell you if he's a scammer, if he's doing something shady or whatever. But what I can tell you is his concepts are great. The thought process is the right thought process. And that's why I was willing to put a bunch of money into Conan, a bunch of money into ETH, a bunch of money into like, I didn't do it into Andy because it was too late, but Brett and some of the others like Toshi. So I've made a video on meme coins. Check that video out. I really recommend you follow Crash. Like I said, you don't just blindly trust him. Don't blindly trust me either, because the reality is you just never know what's going on. And while I can tell you I'm trustworthy, like, I want you guys to always keep your eyes open and always really, really vet, really qualify everything that they say, regardless of how much they've done for you in the past, because they could get hacked, they could change their personality, things can always change, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about is Renzo. So there's some good and some bad. So in our live stream earlier today with the Web3 Secret Society, I talked about the fact that Renzo's token generation event and sort of this first wave of their liquid staking campaign was ending at the end of this month. What is nice to see here is that their season 1 campaign ends on April 26th, which is in 3 short days. After that, we'll be able to get our tokens on May 2nd, and they're going to do another round after the fact for season 2. And those who have large wallets, they're going to be subject to a 50% linear vest over 6 months, which means they can't dump on you. So this is actually not a bad thing. However, if you dive a little deeper, what Renzo had done was they did the old marketing trick, which is marketing sometimes is all about perception. It's all about how do you tell the story in a positive way. So what happened was they've literally like put out different like values in the charts to make them look almost equivalent. Does this 2.5 and 2.5% look like this? Like this 5% look like 5% to you compared to like what the 20% looks like? Probably not, right? What you have to take away from this chart, and like I said, I have no ill will against this. It's more just how it's shown. Like literally most of it is going to the investors and the team. And, basically like what we are going to get comes out of the community pool right here. And that's going to be 5% for season 1. It's in their documents. And sort of this is kind of like, they have it here with different colors, and people are talking about this, they're parodying it. Like this is so funny. Renzo Protocol really tweeted a distribution chart like this and thought we wouldn't notice, right? Because it is 5%. The way they did it kind of looked weird, really weird, but it's 5%, and that's for season 1. So it's not bad, not horrible, because remember, ETHFI was 6% for season 1. ETHFI season 2 is 5%. Now, if you haven't, you got a couple more days to earn some points. I got 8,000 Renzo easy points. This is from two Ethereum that I staked in Zircuit. I made a video on this when I did it. I did it live for you guys, showing you how to do it. And then I put like 0.5 ETH into a YT pool as well for that to get me some Eigenlayer and some Renzo. So that's sort of what I was doing with Renzo. Not bad. Now, What you shouldn't do is what Swell Network did, and I'm very disappointed by this. So Swell Network was supposed to do their token generation event mid-April. Mid-April came and went. No comment, nothing, no response. You ask, it's just ghost town. And then today morning, they posted this. 2 weeks left to get your share of 1 million Eigenlayer points, which is the Manta and Layer Bank playbook of, hey, I haven't given you what I promised you last time, but let me make you some more promises and hopefully distract you and get some more marketing. Let's get more people involved. And what happened when they like slipped this in. Depositors will also collect airdrops from Swell and projects building on the L2. But over here, they mentioned Swell L2 pre-launch. It was supposed to launch in Q2 in like April, May. And apparently the launch is now in Q3. They literally just did not make a comment. Now, they may come back and clarify and saying, hey, the token generation event is still happening in April, like we said, but they literally haven't addressed it. And I think this is a really bad look. I think Renzo, I mean, yeah, we can clown on them for the graph, but like Swell, like this is a joke. Like, and I'm actually really upset because, not upset, but I'm disappointed because Swell was what I chose over ETHFI back in December when they were a much higher TVL. And then they have just been tripping all over themselves ever since. And ETHFI has really shown. And you know what? Let's be straight up. I told you guys, ETHFI is my biggest liquid staking kind of conviction play because I value consistency. I value trust. These guys did, say what you will. I thought they did a great job in their season 1 airdrop. There were some complaints. They addressed some stuff. Their token held up very strongly. If I had to go through an experience, if I don't know, I'd rather go through what ETHFI did. And they learned from the small gaffes they had in season 1. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's do it. I think I have like 12 to 14 ETH, somewhere in that range, in ETHFI across various protocols. And as a result, remember, I had 0 ETHFI points back when this thing started. I started on day 1. I'm now currently rank 8 with almost 6 million points, 4,400 Eigenlayer, and that doesn't even include what I got in liquid, right? 400K. Oh, I don't think it includes this. 400K in loyalty here and 94 from this. And obviously some rewards in ETHFI. I'm not claiming this because the gas would be more expensive, but it'll get added to my airdrop allocation, at the end with ideally multiple network options. So I don't have to claim on ETH mainnet. That's a very important distinction and a very good learning as well. It's so bad when our airdrops suck anyways, and then when we have to claim the small amount on ETH mainnet, it's even worse. Now, the reason I bring all this up, and I think it's very important for you guys, especially as it relates to ETHFI, is there are a couple pools that are reaching maturity on April 25th in Pendle. Pendle is a solution that I have been recommending as sort of what I use anyways. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so none of this is financial advice, but straight up, I use a lot of Pendle. And in this, when I look at these options, ETHFI has a very nuanced approach. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. I have linked this tweet. So if you are in any of these pools and you have to sort of take your money out of the matured pools, I'm not going to go through all the details because it's kind of intensive. You can go through here. They have it for YT holders. I mean, here it goes to 0, but you can probably like swap it out a little bit before. You got the PT holders, and then you got like the LP holders and how you do all of that. So all the information's here. Please check it out. I've linked that description below. Hopefully it saves you some time. And I see James is breaking my heart here and saying that it's included in portfolio total points. Damn. Well, I hope I don't miss out on that extra points that I thought I had. So as you guys know, season 2 ends June 30th. You want to get to rank 8 as early as possible, right, to get the 2x boost. But I want you to check the stake rank rules, because if you only have a position in Pendle and it goes to mature on April 25th, and you don't own any more assets that are above 0.1 EE, WE, whatever, in any of the DeFi protocol positions, you will literally go back to rank 1 after 100. So for example, it took me 100 hours, or I forget what, it took me about a month to get to rank 8. you don't want to have this happen to you again. You literally don't. So what you want to do is make sure you have some exposure. So if you only have 0.1 ETH or something, it's only in Pendle and it's about to mature, make sure you stake 0.1 ETH somewhere. Ideally, like what I tell people who ask me for the simplest way, I would stake 0.1 ETH directly in ETHFI. And the reason for that, or sorry, you could do it on another pool, which I'll show you in a second. But if you do it that way, then it doesn't matter when the pool is mature. You always have it. You don't need to worry, right? And now that's good. Otherwise, if you want to do a patch fix, because remember, the airdrop will end before the next pool expires on June 26th, then you can just do it on those pools. Now, there is a really cool new pool that is out on ETH mainnet, and it is actually a combination of ETHFI, Zirkit, and Eigenlayer, and it ends on June 26th. So that's another option that you can do by going to ETH mainnet. It's not a bad option. There's a ton of other options out here. This one will get you that Zirkit exposure as well. Remember, it's on Pendle, ETH mainnet only. Okay, so those are your sort of options. The next thing I want to remind you guys to do is I tend to mint anything that comes out of Imagine Zora.eth. So if you just follow them, you can like literally see all the things that they do. There's one weird one that I didn't do, which is this upload imagination. I don't know, it kind of looks weird. Look like some sort of OnlyFans hybrid, whatever. But you see everything else in here we've done. So like you remember the Only for a Moment, the Eclipse, which feels like forever ago now. This was like a few weeks ago, and now this one, Zora 222. So basically, as a reminder, you're going to see a lot of Zora posts from people. They're going to try to like mess with you. They're doing this for their own benefit. And remember, when you click on the link, please, 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 I put my referral link here, but what I want you to do is I want you to click on that button here. I want you to then go here, click on this share, and click and copy. By doing so, you will get the rebate. Nobody else. So if somebody links you it, the money goes to you, like the portion. Otherwise, those people sending you the link, they will get the money. So make sure you do that. I've mentioned this before. This is something you should always do on Zora. Check any platform when you're signing up. Is there a way you can use a self-referral, right? Because a lot of influencers, they will just tell you to mint like 30 different images and think that you're stupid, right? And yeah, I agree with you, Toby. This NFT is ugly, but hey, if we have a Zora airdrop and it's like $1 or $2 or whatever. Daniel, liquid is not locked. You can always withdraw it. So I'm sorry to see that. I hope you don't. I hope you're not using that wallet anymore because you know, if it's compromised, you definitely don't want to keep anything on it. Like I don't know if your seed phrase was gone or you signed something. But yeah. So for layer 0, surprise, surprise, and you know, I'm not surprised here because they did tell us that they would have their token generation event by the end of Q2, or they say H1, which is the first half. And they confirmed it again, which is basically the timeline for the token generation event is drawing close. So for those of you, if you haven't started layer 0, I probably think it's time to call it. Like you may be able to squeak in some. I don't know if they're gonna be I don't know if they're gonna be strict on that period where you have to literally just continue to like get those 3 months worth of transactions or whatever. But please don't burn a ton of money trying to do so, because that means we literally have about 2 months and a week. And you know, if the TGE is happening in H1, that means a snapshot is taking place earlier than that, right? So I would say likely early June is probably the snapshot time at the latest. Anyways, that's my expectation. The next big update here is on Gitcoin. So we talked about Gitcoin and the future of sort of ZK Sync and how the anti-Sybil technology was going to work. I made a video on how to do Gitcoin in the past. As a reminder, their recommendation of protocols is to require a minimum of 20 Gitcoin points. And they thought that was the most reasonable place where you didn't cut off in too many users for being fake. And what they've done is they've actually updated their stamp and their score weight changes. So you need to log in if you have one, see how you're doing. Some stamps may have expired. You'll have to do them again. And, you know, I'll probably make another update video saying how you can maximize on it now. I personally think that if you're an airdrop farmer and you're not actually like a Sybil, like for example, you have one account, this is actually going to be very good for you, or at least for your main account. This is going to be very good for you, because what they've done is they have removed some stamps that were like very easy, right? So like they said, bad news for Sibbles is some easy to game stamps have been removed, right? So you want to be between 20 and 30. I'll show you right here, right now. With the update, I'm at 52, but majority of the increase has come from Ethereum, where you see I got 16 points. So in the past, I used to just be ETH enthusiast, which was like 1 point, and now I get 16 points for all of them. Enthusiast, advocate, maxi, spent more than 0.25 ETH on gas, 100 transactions, 50 distinct days. So definitely something like that I think is huge, and didn't cost me anything to do, because it just checks, it's just a signature, right? And it makes sense, right? When you look at my wallet on Earn3, I paid $2,000 in gas, 305K in volume. I mean, I put 50K in volume in the last 30 days, right? Like, this is Ethereum very active, right? 787 days. And this is a reset wallet, just so you guys know. So hope you guys have done this. Hope you guys have gone there. A really weird thing, though, is ZK Sync. And I think everyone's talking about this. Like, I'm a verified transactor. I don't know if I can't get in here, but basically I'm a verified transactor. I'm going to screenshot this just so I can make this a little bigger for you guys. But like, honestly, I got none of these. Like, I don't know how that's possible. I'm like top 0.1, 0.3% of ZK Sync wallets, and you won't give me a single one. What criteria am I missing? I have no idea. I know a lot of people are worried about this, because they're like, well, if this is the case, how will I get the ZK Sync airdrop? Probably a bug. We'll find out exactly what's being said by the sort of Gitcoin passport people. The next, I are nobody. That's pretty good. 55 on Gitcoin. Let's go. And yeah, like, by the way, Toby, everyone has this thing. By the way, guys, I want to say congrats to everybody who's in here. Thank you for tuning in. We got Christian Peter. We got Andrew Cameron in the house. We got I are nobody. We got Larry. We got James. Walls Creek says Dimension's on fire. Yeah, you know what? Just in time, we're going to talk about Dimension right now. They got their 13th governance vote up. So their proposal 12 has proceeded. Now they're doing a whitelist NIM role app deployer. As you guys know, NIM is one of the protocols we'll be receiving a juicy airdrop on very soon. So make sure you go in here, you vote. Everyone's voted yes. So yeah, I mean, you can vote however you like. I don't think it matters. Personally, I would say either abstain or yes. It's pretty good. And then we got some news on a potential airdrop. So there's a meme coin airdrop on or meme coin roll app, I guess, on Dimension DGM. It'll likely go up on June 30th. 40% of this token will go to Dimension stakers, 40% to Wawa, which is Chihuahua token, 10% to Dimension community, and 10% to Chihuahua community pool. So interesting. It's going to be sort of like, another token. We don't know how much it's going to be. These are all incremental, bonuses. Wawa was actually a good token airdrop last cycle. A lot of the meme tokens that have dropped this cycle have been trash, like Hava, get like $5, congrats. Toro, $3, congrats. Like, they're not that big. And I think a lot of those were driven by non-Dimension, non-Celestia. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, maybe they had a piece from Celestia or a piece from Dimension, but would be interested to see how this goes. As you guys know, I have reallocated, and in IBC, I only stake Celestia and Dimension, because I said I'm very bullish on those. I'm very bullish on that tech, and I'm very bullish on how that's going to be utilized. We'll see how this pans out. I'm still waiting for Eclipse. I'm waiting for that to happen, which I hope happens in the next 3 to 4 months. I think that's what the timeline looks like for Eclipse's TGE. Next update is on Parcel. So we're getting close to 30 minutes on the hour, which is probably where I'm going to wrap this up. But I told you, tons of stuff to share. They basically said, here's a soft reminder to keep Parcel in your wallet for the upcoming snapshot that's taking place in a couple days. And it will help you get more points boost for the second airdrop. Now, whether or not you're going to keep Parcel in your wallet, I mean, let's be straight up here. Let's go back on what happened to the Parcel chart. The Parcel chart, I guess it reset now, but like, it was bad. It was bad. I don't know what. Okay, you can't see it now, but basically the Parcel chart, it was literally just straight down. Oh, that's why. I assume it dropped even more since I started the video. So this has not been a nice chart. We actually started a massive rally up to like 73 cents from about like 40. and now we've just given up all those gains in the last, like, I don't know, half a day. But coincidentally, I will not be getting rid of parcel from my wallet because of this. And as you guys know, I owe 50% to the 5 wallets that have won. I'm going to assume, because I haven't heard from them, I only know one of their names, that, well, I don't think they want me to sell at this price. But hey, if they want me to, I'll sell their portion and send it to them. Up to you. So I'm actually probably going to put a tweet out for that, because I do have their wallet addresses, and they can easily confirm it's them. I know a way to do that, so we'll do that. One more update here is Drift Protocol. So this final one is around their points drop. So it's been distributed. They're going to figure out the last kind of pieces to it, and then we're going to do their actual sort of TGE and everything else like that. So what they're trying to say here is they don't want people to dump, because they've seen everyone else do that when it happens. They're like, we're not done. We're going to do more. So for those of you who are on Solana and you are farming this, congratulations. Hopefully that turns out very well. So one thing I want to say, thank you all for watching. This is really cool. Thanks. Appreciate the turnout. You probably noticed that I have not done a video for a couple days on here. Right now, the focus for me is really the Web3 Secret Society. I think we've done like a live stream every night, with the exception of one where, like last night, I had family in town, so I had to go see them. But basically, the priority will be the Web3 Secret Society for me. I will try to make videos here and there on YouTube. I'm probably going to do them, I think once a week in AMA. I'm going to, how do I put this? I'm going to do updates on airdrops, but I'm not going to be able to do a ton of strategy discussions anymore. That will pretty much all be reserved for the Web3 Secret Society. So as a reminder to you guys, if you are interested in checking that out, basically the value proposition and sort of, what I think is the value that gets added. And, I'm sure tons of people here who are in that group can vet or qualify this. It's really about simplifying the process, making sure you're not wasting your time. So you can spend a couple hours in crypto a week, if that, making sure that when you actually participate, you qualify for airdrops. So you're not just messing around and then getting burnt out and upset that you did the wrong things by following stupid people who literally don't know what they're talking about. You get to learn what you're doing so that eventually you don't need to be in a group like this. The whole idea is to make you self-sufficient, and finally opening your eyes and getting you into other opportunities. So whether that's NFT mints, whether that's coin offerings, things that are positive EV plays with obviously risk assessments and stuff done ahead of time. Obviously nothing's a guarantee, so not financial advice. But I say all this because we only have about a week left on the original price, which is 20 US a month to get in. After that point, anyone who's in will be grandfathered or whatever into that forever, for however long they want to be part of the group. And then any new members will pay 60 US a month. So just want to remind you about that. You guys, like I said, cool if you want to join, cool if you don't. It's all good. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. There's a ton of things going on here, and let's get it. This is a great cycle. We've talked about this before. It's onwards and upwards. So with all that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.